Cool. Hey guys, it's Kenzie. Welcome back. It's the 28th, you guys, which means you should be checking your numbers. So make sure you're in your back office. You know where you're at. If your rank is not a reflection of where you want to be, consider the level of effort you put into this month. Ooh, that was good, huh?
That was good.
That was deep.
Not stealing that one.
Right? Okay, so tonight we have Lisa with us, and I've asked her to speak to us about starting the doTERRA conversation, how we can do that and how she does that. And she has a lot of tools and tips that she teaches in her group that I am a member of. So I thought she could pop in here and share with us. So Lisa, enlighten us.
Enlighten you? Sure. All right. So I made some notes because one of the things I like to teach people is all the different ways to build doTERRA that a lot of people miss out on. So how to get that conversation started. First of all, people are missing out on creating their own opportunities to start the conversation or have the conversation even start itself. And so I like to remind people to do some pretty basic things in your business. I eat, sleep, and breathe doTERRA. So the conversation comes up often to start talking to people about essential oils and to come see me or make an appointment, or should we go ahead and order? And so I want to help people brainstorm a little bit on different ways that they can create their own opportunities. And so I would like to ask people, what are some things that they do out in the public that has caused people to come up to them and say, hey, what are you doing there? Or, hey, tell me about that. Or, so is it okay to put people on the spot?
Always. It's always
okay.
Okay.
All right, Iris. Iris, are you with me? I know Iris. Yay. All right.
Yep.
So Iris, has anyone ever come up to you in public and asked you a question about oils or asked you a question about anything whatsoever that opened up the opportunity for you to talk about oils?
I am usually the one that brings it up to them.
Awesome. So how do you bring it up?
Oh, you've got a sore throat? Oh, I have some great stuff that really helps that kind of thing.
Right? So she's listening and interacting with her audience. She's not out and about in the world to sell doTERRA to people every day. Iris is, what do I want to say about you, Iris? Iris is awesome. So Iris cares about other people, and that's one of the best ways, genuinely showing interest in other people to get a conversation going. And Iris is really good at that. So, right, Iris doesn't go up to people and start talking about herself. She doesn't start talking about her oils. She's asking people, how are they doing? Oh, I have a sore throat today. Oh, I can help you with that. So Iris is not viewed as a salesperson. She's viewed as someone who just wants to help other people. So she doesn't feel awkward about bringing it up. Does that make sense?
You betcha.
See how I want to help people see when people say, well, how do I even bring it up? Well, the first thing that people think of is, I feel uncomfortable bringing it up because I don't want to sell or be pushy. All right, take that out of the equation. There's no selling or being pushy and helping people. Don't sell them, just tell them. So don't sell your product, just tell people that you have a solution for them to help them. And like Iris is so good at it, right? Because she is genuinely concerned in the other person and helping them with their sore throat. So other things I like to do is, for example, I went and bought a couch recently, right? So I was covered from head to toe in a hot mess body spray, and I smelled amazing. So the couch sales lady said, oh my gosh, you smell amazing. What are you wearing? See, I didn't even have to start the conversation. She did. Now, if you walk around smelling like past tense, you might not be as successful, right? Because there may be an oil or two, maybe spikenard, that will start a conversation, but it might not be going in the direction that you want if you don't love the smell. So, for example, for the couch lady, right, I said, oh my goodness, I'm so excited to tell you about that. I actually use essential oils. Have you heard of essential oils? And she said, oh, yes, I think my daughter uses some. I said, fantastic. Do you use them? And she said, I don't. I said, she was about my age. So I said, well, I use them for hormone balancing and healthy hair. My hair looked good that day. Do you want to hear more about it? Right? I asked her permission to keep going. So that's not salesy or pushy because I asked her permission. She said, I do, because you smell amazing and your hair looks fantastic. And so in that particular case, because I was with my family, we were buying a couch, I didn't have 45 minutes to do a dissertation on essential oils, but I didn't want to lose the opportunity. I reached in my bag, gave her a trifold that told her exactly how to order, what to do. And then we went on with buying a couch, but we chit-chatted while we were doing it as well. And so when we sat down to do our numbers and stuff, and she was filling out paperwork, I was able to say, I have a class coming up, right? Because she had another customer waiting, so it's not the time for me to do my 60-second enrollment of tell me what your health problems are. Well, these other people are standing around and staring at her, right? They don't want to hear about her period. So that was not the time or place. Because believe me, if I can go for the 60-second close, I do, right? And so that is just saying to someone when the opportunity presents itself, tell me what you got going on. Yeah, we have oils for that. We have a small kit and a big kit to solve your problems, which you're more comfortable with. And it works, but that wouldn't have worked there, right? That would have made her uncomfortable because she had customers waiting, etc. So I always have a class ready to invite people to on the books, right? It doesn't matter where I am or what I'm doing. I always know when my next class is, whether it's in person or online, to invite them to. So you always, always, always have an upcoming event to invite them to. So that way I was able to say, I wrote up right on the front of the trifold the date of my event and the location, and my phone number is already on there. And I said, is it okay if I text you to remind you, right? I already had her business card because I was buying a couch from her. Is it okay if I text you to remind you about the event to see if it works out for you when you have, she was busy. Yep, perfect. So bought our couch, went on with our day. That was just an opportunity that presented itself simply because I would walk around a product of the product. So use your oils, come up with ways to make your own cologne, make your own perfume. Other ways that the conversation has started, I wear oil t-shirts everywhere I go. So I have shirts that say happy oiling. I have an oil for that. doTERRA Wellness Advocate. My kid has doTERRA t-shirts. My husband wears something doTERRA every single day. There's all the polos, all the golf shirts, right? It sparks a conversation. And then same thing. Oh, are you familiar with essential oils? Right? And it gets the ball rolling. And then if the opportunity presents itself, there aren't a bunch of people standing around. They say, oh yeah, I've heard of these essential oils. Can you tell me more about that? That's a pretty common response from people. I say, absolutely, Kenzie, but I want to hear about you. We use our essential oils to solve problems. Tell me what you got going on, Kenzie. Do you have any trouble with sleep? Allergies right now, right? Illinois allergies are horrific. Stress, hormones. I pick all the easy leading questions that pretty much everyone has a problem with, right? I lay it out so they don't even have to think, oh my gosh, yes, right? So Kenzie, if I said that to you, what would you say?
I would say I have 2 children, 5 and 1. And this hour of the day is like a whole day inside of itself.
All right. Well, I am going to make your day, Kenzie. Could you use a little bit of help with them sleeping better, tantrums,
Oh, yeah.
diaper rash, ear infections? Would that be helpful for you? Would that make your life easier?
Would.
I'm so excited. All right, so we have a great kit for moms, not just for kids, but for the whole family. and we can solve all those problems. And it's so simple. We have an oil starter kit for the whole family. We have a small one and a big one. The small one's $150 and the big one's $275. Is that something you'd be interested in if we could solve that for your whole family, especially for your kids?
Oh yeah.
Sweet. See, I just met Kenzie, right? And most of the time, if people are going to stand around long enough to speak to me at all and tell me their problems, feel open enough to tell me those problems, they're ready for more. The worst she can say is no, but if I don't ask, the answer is no, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I would probably say 75% of the time, that's how simple it is, right? And so even if Kenzie wasn't ready for more, so then I would say, oh, perfect, Kenzie. Here's how we do that, right? Depending on where we are. So I've signed up people on my arm with a pen, right? So I was getting a pedicure and the lady's like, oh, sure, sounds great. I was like, she said yes. And so I'm like writing on my pen. I signed some up on a napkin, right? Like, awesome. We'll just go ahead and order that for you. Go ahead and give me your name, address, phone number, and just do it one at a time. When I get to the credit card, right, because that's awkward because Kenzie's a stranger. I sign up strangers all day long and ask for their credit card, but you have to say it so that you're not uncomfortable and they aren't either. I say, hey, Kenzie, that goes on credit or debit. Like, by now I've given you like my card or a trifold or something so you know I'm legit. And I say, awesome, that goes on credit or debit. Which are you going to give me?
Debit.
Right? So see how that wasn't awkward for me at all because it was an either or.
Yeah.
And you know how I did the kits? Either or.
Either or, small or big.
It's so easy to make a decision. It's a given. You can either afford the small one or the big one.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm sitting next to you in the pedicure chair. I'm not going to tell you about the 10 oils. I'm not going to tell you what oregano does, right? I just want to help you order and solve your problem, which is you have a 1-year-old and a 5-year-old, right? I need to solve that problem.
I spent $1,500 on this hour of the day.
Yep, right? So simple. And the key is not to sell them the biggest thing possible. It's to just help them get in the door and get that done.
So let me ask, can we interrupt? Because this is where I think a lot of times when we're on these calls, we say, well, what about, because we go into this mode. Okay, well, it's like a wellness advocate and it's a 1-year thing. And on 13 months, you're going to get a charge for $25, or we're going to send you a free peppermint.
Who cares?
So what do you say? Is that all you say? That's it. You have 2 options, A or B, sign up.
A or B sound good. Go ahead and give me your info, right? So then next, it's Kenzie. That just got you your free account for doTERRA. To get everything 25% off your free wholesale account. And then I'm sending you home with your trifold. And so it's going to say on there the renewal.
Okay.
Right?
So we provided that information to them.
Yep. If you try to tell them all that information, she's out. She's
yeah, like, I'm good. I'll go to Amazon.
Yep. She's like, I don't know what the heck you're saying anymore. I'm out. I just wanted to solve some problems. And you just confused the daylights out of me with 15 million different lingos and numbers, right? Mm-hmm. Because even if I had told you, Kenzie, would you have remembered any of that weird lingo and rules that I said? No, right? Because I used to tell everyone that. And at 1 year, I still got the, what's this for? And it'd be like, I've only told you that like 16 million times. Yeah. Right. So I just always give them a trifold, and we always tag them in our Facebook group that says, welcome, here's what you just got. Yeah. Or email it to them. So they've always got. So I can say, nope, you got that when we signed up. Good. Cool. But even then, it's still voluntary. We worry about the silliest little details. They don't have to renew if they don't want to. Right. Right. And so that's it. But so yay, I got all your information. That just got you your own account. So now you're going to get everything at the lowest price. And Kenzie, I like to make sure and go through all this with you when you come in, because you're going to get them and be like, okay, what do I do for the 1-year-old and 5-year-old, right? And to make them sleep better, make everybody happy. Plus, I want to go through how you can use these for everybody else in the family. So let's set a time to chat in 7 to 10 days. Do you have your calendar handy? If you do, we schedule it right then and there. Mm-hmm. You want to meet with me in person? I live in Eureka. You can come to my home or we can chat on the phone. Which are you comfortable with?
Phone.
right? Guess what I just did? Either or.
Yeah.
And she picked one. You can either or people into making a decision all day long. You want this one or this one?
Oh, that's like my biggest parenting hack, right? Do you want a grilled cheese or macaroni and cheese? Like you're eating dinner.
If you say, what do you want for dinner? You can be there now.
I even do this with my husband, right?
We can't even make a decision where to eat. You know,
Right?
don't get more than 2 choices for a essential oil kit, right? So now then.
So nothing about LRP at this point. It's just,
okay,
we're going to meet. You're going to have your oils. We're going to go over them.
Yep, easy. And so this is my favorite part, right? Was when I stopped trying to give them a PhD in doTERRA on day 1, right? So I like to compare it to that, but I also like to compare it to dating and relationship. So how's about I keep dating Kenzie before I try to take her to the honeymoon?
Yeah.
Right? Before I try to put a ring on it.
Right.
Right? So think about your doTERRA process, whether it's a customer or a builder, right? So that's, I'm going to be talking about that at a Healthy Habits, how to launch builders. And it's the same mindset. Let's date these people before we try to, put a ring on it. Let's woo them. Let's let them fall in love with the process. Let's let them get their product before we try to explain the entire complicated doTERRA lingo and system and processes. How's about they just actually get some oil first, right? Before we scare them away, right? So that's how easy it is once you get the conversation started to do the 60-second close. And the first time it worked, I almost cried because I've been 2 years in, 2 years built to diamond, and I had done 1 to 2 hour one-on-ones or classes with every single enrollment, and then 1 to 2 hour in-person membership overviews. And then I physically myself, because the old LRP system was so confusing, set up for 400 enrollments LRP cards. I haven't set up an LRP cart now in 2 years. And 90+% of my membership overviews are over the phone in 10, 15 minutes. And probably 90% of my enrollments are in less than 5 minutes. Like seriously, if I could go back in time and get all those hours back, I used to work 12 to 16 hours a day on that. Inviting, enrolling, long, drawn-out processes that would just confuse them more. And I have better results, saying less, expecting less from them, getting my time back, giving them their time back. I still teach classes and whatnot. But think about where most of your enrollments really come from. Most of your enrollments, where you're at in your business now. Kenzie, what rank are you?
I am a solid premier, sister. Solid.
Sweet, right? Because I know you do a lot of support. So you say pick your last 2 enrollments. Where did they come from? A class that you knew and you had just a conversation with?
My last 2 enrollments were my mother-in-law's friends.
Right? And so mother-in-law probably said, hey, call Kenzie. She'll hook you up. Right? Most of your enrollments, right? We're still going to teach as many classes as we can because that keeps getting the word out. But many, many, many of your enrollments are going to come from a casual conversation or a referral. And they don't need a 45-minute dissertation on oils. They need to you need to ask them what problem you got. I can solve that. You want the small one or the big one? What are you comfortable with?
You always stick with the family and the home.
So it depends on if I have where my area, it's an extremely low income area. So it's a stretch for us to get a 150 kit. And so I stick with those, right? But if I'm online or outside of my area or whatnot, then I'll throw in natural solutions is the big one, and the small one is home essentials. So you do what you're comfortable with, you do with what you're trained for. I personally don't care what they enroll with. I'll enroll them with $35 in the intro kit for $55 total, because I know I'll get them on 100 PV LRPs after that, because our follow-up is so good and our education is so good, and our LRP, like retention rate or active retention rate in the system's like 68 to 90% for me and my builders.
Cool.
So
How many yeses do you get compared to how many no's? Because the 60-second, you really get an opportunity to talk to more people.
yeah, I never not enroll anyone. So they're always yeses.
You have 100% enrollment rate.
Because the people that I'm doing the conversations with are usually
Ready.
interested, or they wouldn't be asking.
Sure.
Right. And so it may not be right away, like the sofa person, right? She came to class, we chatted, she went ahead and enrolled. She enrolled with $35 in a Clary Calm. But again, I'll enroll anybody with anything, because if I don't get them enrolled, I can't get them into the lifestyle in my world. I enrolled with Digestin and $35.
I enrolled because my husband said, if you don't give your mom that $100, I am going to flip a lid. Like, just pay her the $100 and we'll move on with our lives. And then I said, oh no, it's 100 every month.
Right? So, but it's more about, so like, say you did say, yeah, that's not really in my budget. Or like vendor events, where strangers are coming to your booth and may not even be that interested, right? They're like, I just came to a vendor event. I didn't plan on dropping $150 on this lady, right? Say, no problem. We've already done the tell me what you got going on. I know their problems. I say, oh my goodness, I'm so excited, right? And I grab out this little page I have that talks about lemon, lavender, peppermint. And then I have like my goodie bag, right, where everything's out for free, like your sample toothpaste, Deep Blue, all that stuff. Everybody gives like sample goodie bags, right? And I say, you can get all this free stuff and the top 3 oils, and it's totally going to help with the 1-year-old and the 5-year-old for sleeping and digestion and that runny nose. And right, I'm coming back to Kenzie's kids and solving her problems. We have this one for $55. Does that work better for you, Kenzie?
If they'll still go to sleep.
Right. And you're looking at the free stuff. And so it's still problem solving, but I'm not letting you get away until I've exhausted every option.
So you go for a hard no. Like if I was like, well, I don't know, you're waiting for them to give you that, you know what, never mind, and move on.
Yep, absolutely. And then if all fails, I reach in and grab a free sample. It's extremely rare for me to give a sample to anyone. That means I really did a terrible job, or I missed the boat on something, or they just weren't that interested and they just wandered into my booth. But I want to help people create more opportunities to begin with, because you can learn those enrollment skills, right? The 60-second enrollment, you can learn that. But if you don't have opportunities, it's pointless in knowing it, right? So much of what we learn for training is completely pointless in knowing if you can't open up the door to talk to people and get those opportunities going and start creating them. And so it's standing in line at the grocery store and using your oils in front of someone, right? Hopefully, I don't care where you're at, hopefully you're using rollers all the time in front of other people. I keep a spray bottle in my purse. It's water, Serenity, and eucalyptus, like 20 drops each, in the doTERRA 30 ml sprayer. I spray that in public all the time. I pull my shirt up, I spritz in here, and it smells good. And it's not overpowering. It smells very spa-like. I'll spray that everywhere. And then people will be like, what was that? Oh, let me tell you all about that, Kenzie. It's awesome, right? And
Love it.
I don't mind. And so a roller, a spray bottle, an On Guard hand sanitizing mist, and just make sure that when you leave the house every day, wherever you're going, to the grocery store, to drop the kids off at school, out to eat with a friend, that you either have your business card, if you use the trifold, and something in your purse to use on yourself, and maybe a sample or two just in case.
Mm-hmm.
So I always have little 5 mLs of Balance and Serenity.
Yeah.
Already mixed, ready to go, like 10 drops each in a 5 ml topped with fractionated coconut oil. And I call it Calm Stress Sleep. So Kenzie, if I couldn't close you on anything that I tried to close you on earlier, I would have reached in my bag, handed you a trifold and a 5 ml Calm Stress Sleep roller that had directions on it.
Cool.
And I would have said, awesome. You know what? I know you're not ready to get, this today. Will you take this gift from me?
Yeah.
And can I check in with you in a couple days and see how it's working for Susie and Johnny? Does that sound good?
Heck yeah. So how do you do this online without coming across as, it's different. You make a post or hold on 1 second. You've shared something. Then how do you start that conversation without a 60-second spam?
So 60-second text message, exact same thing. So if you've, for this scenario, you've private messaged me and said, I saw your post about oils in the hot tub.
Yeah, or maybe liked a post you posted or had a question.
So if you've sent me a question in some way, right, I still do my 60-second enrollment. Awesome. I'd love to tell you more about the essential oils for the hot tub, right? We use them to clean the hot tub. But most importantly, we use them for our whole family, for our overall health and wellness. Do you want to tell me what kind of things you have going on that you love natural solutions for, Kenzie? Trouble with sleeping, stress, pain, hormones, right? I know you're a female, so I'm going to pick all the things to lead you into
your sales funnel. Here's our funnel. I like it. Sure.
Right? So it doesn't matter if it's the mouth, a text, a PM, and still tell me, Kenzie, about you. Tell me what you got going on. What problems do you have that you'd like a natural solution for?
And then you go in the same.
I have to lead you because you're going to be like, I don't know what she's asking. Do you have pain, trouble sleeping, stress, hormonal? Tell me what you got going on. Same thing.
Yeah.
We have a small bottle. And now what's so cool, right, is link generator.
Right. Game
So
changer.
it makes it even easier when it's text or PM. Because I'm going to say, oh my gosh, Kenzie, I'm so excited. We have this new healthy habit.
Every time you say that, you kill me. I'm still mad. I love it.
See, I don't even have to think about it anymore. I just say stuff every time. But I listen, right? Because I still remember that you told me you have a 5-year-old and a 1-year-old. I am genuinely interested in helping Kenzie, not just closing the deal.
Yeah.
But I can't help Kenzie long term if I don't close the deal. And so I want to bring you in, solve your problems, get you going. But what I love is I can say, best time to get started right now, Kenzie, because the oils for your hot tub that we talked about, right, that you're most interested, also come in this new kit that's on sale right now. You're going to want this and then I'm going to repeat back to you. Kenzie, you listed this problem, this problem, this problem, this problem. You're going to want this kit because it's going to solve your allergies, your lack of energy, getting the kids to sleep, tantrum time. I'm going to reiterate back to you why you want that kit.
Yeah.
I can tell you what you're going to use for sleep or allergies, or because if I type all that out, all you're going to see is like that.
Right. So you're not even mentioning oils necessarily. You're just saying, yeah, we got a solution for you.
This is your solution. Click this link and be the healthy habits.
And you're using these things in your hot tub? Like I have a hot tub. What are you doing?
So I use On Guard lemon and melaleuca in my hot tub.
Just to spray around the edges and stuff?
No, just 2 drops of each in after you use the hot tub. I only use it like once or twice a month. And we haven't used chemicals in a year.
Wow.
Yeah. But I took my posts down because then like hot tub sales people came in and started, calling me psycho. And I'd already gotten like 200 and some shares on my post and, comments and got all the Facebook algorithms I needed. So
Seriously, right? Like, thank you.
I
All
deleted
traffic is good
That's
traffic.
talking to
Right?
them is not an income producing activity. So I got what I needed. But so again, like the hot tub post created conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And so private messaged me and say, tell me more about that. Awesome, Kenzie. I'm happy to tell you more about that. Do you use this oils now? Oh, I do. I love doTERRA. Awesome. Me too. Do you have your own wholesale account?
Yeah.
Right. And if you do, great. Go to public education. You can read all about it.
Right. doTERRA.com. Download the app.
Get
Lisa,
your own
I'm like blown away right now because I've watched so many of your videos and I feel like I'm in your kitchen. Like, this is a surreal experience for me.
I
Like my kid that just came in, he didn't think that we actually talked, right? Like, that's just a lady that's always saying, oh.
And part of it too, right? Your conversations with people, if you act awkward, right? So like the sofa lady, if I acted awkward, like, oh, now I have to figure out how to sell this lady something, they're going to feel it, right? I don't feel awkward because I am so excited. I'm like, I'm so excited. Let me tell you all about it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so they're going to think, well, this lady's fun. This lady's excited about what she has. But if you're like, oh, I don't know, it's $20, but I don't want to be pushy. Like I overhear people say that. And I'm like, oh, they want to hear what you have to say, or they would seriously say, no, thank you, and walk away.
Mm-hmm. What did your follow-up time look like? So she gave you her phone number. She said you could contact her. When did you contact her?
So I make sure and clearly communicate. So I would say, hey, Kenzie, is it okay? Like, say it's Tuesday. Is it okay if I check in with you Thursday and see how the calm stress sleep roller worked?
Mm-hmm.
And so I would literally make sure I'm contacting you Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and give me your information. If it was a vendor event, I'd already have it on a drawing slip, right? And I'd text you, hey, Kenzie, how'd that calm stress sleep roller work for Susie and Johnny? Did they sleep better?
Yeah.
If you don't respond, I'm not going to worry about it. And I'll check them with you before my next class and say, hey, Kenzie, we met. You tried the calm stress sleep roller. Got a class coming up for kids. Would love for you to join me. If you can't make it, I'm happy to set up a one-on-one consultation with you and help you make your life better with kids asleep.
I dig it.
You just keep going. But create opportunities everywhere you go so that the conversation starts. You don't even have to start the conversation, right? You just have to do something to trigger conversations with others. Just like Iris, right?
I'm just really impressed with your 100% rate. I mean,
well, that's like maybe not at a vendor event, but if someone contacts me about oils, then it falls into that category because quite honestly, they're already interested. They wouldn't have gone to the trouble to contact me.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm at a vendor event, no, I do not have 100% rate, right? It depends on what you're talking about. But what most people miss out on is enrolling people who have gone to the trouble to reach out to them because they're making it too hard. They're not asking them about them and they're not closing the deal. Mm-hmm. Right? Most people have ADD now. So if you take more than 2 sentences to explain how to get your oils, I'm out. I'm logging into Amazon while you're yapping and I'm those oils. Right? Because that's people's attention span these days.
Yeah.
It depends on the scenario. For vendor events, that's an incredibly low enrollment rate because that's seed planting time, right?
Right.
We have 100 people come to our vendor event booth and we enrolled, I can't remember now, like 16, right? And half of those were a $55 intro kit, right? That's not 100%. But if someone picks up the phone or texts me and says, I want to know more about your oils, or my mother-in-law suggested that I call you for my headaches, 100%, because why else would they be calling if they didn't want my product?
Right, right.
And that's people's mindset issues. You're assuming that you're going to have to work hard to sell it. You don't have to work hard to sell it. They've already they're contacting you. They want it.
Mm-hmm.
Just
You're
help. Right? But it's just sales. It's just like I used to be in real estate, right? And you didn't have to push houses on people. They wanted one. That's why they're standing in front of you.
Yep, that's right.
Right? And it's just our own mindset issues that we have to overcome. I assume that everybody wants my oils because I know what they do. And so I just assume they all want them. They have to work hard to get me to go away. Right? Because I'll keep going until you say, nope, I'm not interested. The hard no, is that what you call it, Kenzie?
Yeah, the hard no.
The hard no. But you're not going to get anywhere if you don't start creating those opportunities, right? So when we go out to eat, we leave a trifold and a deep blue pain cream. And on the front of the trifold, I write, hey, looked like you were working hard today. You were an awesome server. Feel free to use this complimentary pain cream.
That is
complimentary pain cream. Now look at that verbiage, you guys. If you didn't learn anything tonight, I hope you picked up on the complimentary pain cream.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's words they understand. If I leave a packet of deep blue on the table, they're like, it's in the garbage because they don't know what it is.
All right, show us a trifold. I love this thing. Most of my clients use one of these suckers. It makes my life easier. I appreciate that.
Much more than that. Let me go get it. I just came out with the Hostess trifold too. Hold on.
Oh, hey.
Dad, I don't even have a trifold in front of me. Hold on.
Do you guys feel like we're in Lisa's kitchen, right? Like you watch her go live all the time in her group, and now here we are. It's like Barefoot Contessa, but Lisa with oils.
You're getting to hang out in my galley kitchen.
Yeah.
All right. So the trifold, I just took actually I'll open the middle. So the old Class in a Box before Empowered Success came out, because these came out before that. I worked with doTERRA on it, and I just took the Class in a Box handout and converted it to a single page doc. And then I wrote my own verbiage for how do you purchase the oils and how do you get the best price and enroll yourself in a safety section. So I took all the pieces. I basically made like a 3 to 5 minute enrollment in a piece of paper. The idea came from a vendor event and a Young Living booth. Everybody was hitting that before they were getting to our table. Mm. This was before I had my my little handout for signing up with the intro kit. And so back then at vendor events, we were excited if we signed up 1 or 2 people, right? And because I never even thought about signing people up with the intro kit back then. And they were coming to our booth and they were like, oh, I just bought this whole kit over there. One right after the other. And they whipped out a brochure and they said, this one, I just bought this one. And I'm like, why do we not have a brochure? So I made it. I went home, I took Class in a Box and I made it into a brochure. doTERRA said, looks good, and approved them. And so I put all that stuff on there that we forget. So it says like your order arrives in the next week directly to you. When your order arrives, I want to chat and go over it with you. And then safety. I'm always afraid, people aren't going to get the safety stuff and they're going to drink their lemon in the styrofoam and then think we're trying to kill them, right? When they eat the hole in it. So I have all that stuff on there too. But it's not overwhelming. It's for all those situations where you can't without a 16-page brochure. Right? It's for all the situations, the line at the bank, the Uber driver, the waitress, right? So when we travel, the Uber driver gets this.
With
Oh
the
my gosh.
complimentary pain pack? Does he get that?
Right? They all get hip and back pain from sitting in the car all day, right? So we'll talk about that, or we'll talk about, oh my gosh, you know how many toxins are coming off these little Christmas tree air fresheners in your car?
Yeah.
You're gonna give yourself cancer, dude. Do you like the smell of this better, right? And I whip out my spray that I always have, the Serenity Eucalyptus. Even guys like it. Oh my gosh, that smells great. Okay, sweet. I'm gonna save your life. You're gonna get these toxic Christmas trees out of your car, and here's my complimentary pain cream. Right? And then you leave one with those. On the airplane, coming home from convention, right? Because I challenged everybody to take the trifolds to convention, because everywhere we go at convention, Uber drivers, hotel people, gas station clerks, grocery stores, nobody's ever heard of doTERRA.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the whole town is like covered in doTERRA, right? There's doTERRA signage. You can't even blink without seeing a doTERRA sign. And they're like, what's doTERRA? And I was like, the first time I was at convention, I was like, are you kidding me? We're in doTERRA like land. And so I challenged people to give them out. I signed up someone with it in the lobby of the, is it Salt Palace? Not the, what's the V one? Not Salt Palace.
Vivian?
Vivian. I sold someone up in the lobby.
Like a coffee cart?
Yeah, no, they were there because they did accounting, and they were there to try to get business from all of us advocates.
Oh, I dig that, right? Like, let me get your card.
How smart is that? I said, do you have your own account? She said, no. I said, sweet. And signed her up with the trifold. And there were 30,000 people there, right? But it was just much easier to grab this tool than for me to just use my mouth for everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so did the whole tell me what you got going on. And yeah, I can totally help you with that. And then I was like, wait, why are you here? I'm confused.
Yeah.
You're in the lobby of the convention and you don't do those hair. And but most of it's just striking up conversation with people, and getting them to talk about themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's the problem, or like Iris just says, hey, how are you doing, right? And somebody says, oh, I have a sore throat. Oh, I can totally help you with that. But being comfortable to say it and creating those opportunities, leaving something for your waitress, talking to your waitress. How many people don't even hold a conversation with your waitress? By the time we leave a restaurant, we know what, if the waitress is married, if they have kids, or they go into school, right? The Uber driver. So do you do this full time? They want to talk to you, and they'll start telling you their whole life story. And then they think you're amazing because you're actually listening to them, right? It really comes down to developing relationships with people and finding a way to open the door to that relationship. Whether it's using a product in front of them to get them to talk to you, or literally saying, hey, you've been Uber driving long?
Yeah, like for your side hustle or whatever, for sure. Like selling oils is a lot easier than driving around your car.
One of my builders on the way back from last year's convention, she signed up a young man graduating from college. And on the way back from this convention, she signed up a doctor. Sitting in the chair next to her on the airplane. She's really good at finding something to bond with. The gentleman graduating from college, they both started talking about their dogs. She asked him if he had any pets. Turns out he was a crazy, like, obsessed with his dog. In fact, they started showing each other pictures and making kissy faces to their dogs on their phone, right? I was like, what are you doing? And she ended up enrolling him. Are you interested in natural health and wellness? Have you heard about essential oils? And getting that conversation going.
That's awesome.
I've never tried that one because I don't have pictures of her dog. Her dog is her baby. I don't have pictures of my dog on my phone, so I'd have to go another route. But right, it's just talk to people. I think that's what makes this business harder and harder and harder for people, Kenzie, too, is nobody talks to people anymore.
Oh, it's true. It's insane.
So for me, I was like sick for 3 years and didn't know how to use my cell phone, didn't text, didn't use Facebook. So I'm old school. Like, I talk to people. I want to get on the phone and talk to them. And everybody else is like, can you just text me? Can you just PM me? So when they go out in public, they don't even know how to have a conversation because they're so used to not socializing.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to get back to square one and learning how to socialize and learning how to generate a conversation with another human being. I know it sounds really dumb, but it's true.
Lisa, I think you and I are a lot alike because we both had life-threatening things happen to us. And so that takes all the being scared out of it.
You just hit the nail on the head.
Yeah. So how can someone who just likes them because they smell good sell to someone else?
So I'm so glad you said that because that was like the one thing I wanted to talk about tonight and I forgot. So I want people to imagine, right, that every single person you meet could be Iris or could be me, right? Or could be my dad. My dad has battled cancer for the last 10 years, and they were out of options this fall. They could no longer do surgeries abdominally because his insides have been turned into spaghetti. It's too dangerous to even open him up. So they said, fine, go ahead and use your daughter's oil stuff. We've heard good things about that frankincense stuff, right? They're just being nice. At 3 months, the tumors were drastically shrunk. At 6 months, he just got a clear scan and his cancer's gone. 10 years. I want everyone to remember these stories because when you're talking to other people, I don't care who it is, maybe they just have a headache, but maybe those headaches literally have made them bedridden for 23 days out of 30, right? That's one of my builders, right? She was incapacitated with migraines and headaches with 5 kids, that the older kids raised baby twins. She couldn't even get out of bed, right? That's who you're talking to. I was sick for 3 years, thought my life was over, was disabled with brain damage, had to use a wheelchair, couldn't remember how to use a phone, couldn't remember how to drive a car, right? And I didn't want to be here anymore. I didn't want to be here anymore. Every day was miserable. I got a bottle of Digestin. It'd be nice. And because, after 3 years, what's $35 and $31 bottle of oil, right? $500,000 in debt at this point. Oh, what the hell? What's another 60 some bucks? And it worked. I hadn't digested food in 2 years and 7 months. And in 2 days, I digested food. You have to remember those stories to make your fear go away. Now, I was fortunate when I started my business, I still had brain damage. So, and I'd been through really bad stuff. So I didn't really care if you said no or not. I'm trying to help you. If you don't want my help, fine. I'll help everybody else. And so it worked to my advantage. But the point is, there's nothing to be afraid of. What you should be afraid of is not telling them about the oils because they probably have some really bad things going on. And you could be their saving grace, right? I would feel worse not telling people about my oils and finding out that they suffered in silence.
Thank you, Lisa.
You're welcome. Don't you feel that way, Iris?
Oh, yes.
They can
Yes.
make fun of us all day long. They can call me pushy all day long.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them, but they come back.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because eventually somebody else is going to have a good story too. And then they're going to be like, I think I better go talk to that Iris after all.
Yep. That's right.
But you can't let their, it takes 7 to 10 touches, 7 to 10 times for them to hear, see, touch, smell, be exposed to doTERRA before they make a decision. Maybe this conversation was just number one. They didn't not say yes because of me. They didn't say yes because it was number one, and I got 2 to 9 more touches to go. And I don't know which touch it's going to be. Maybe it's the next one.
I did that with my piano tuner who used to be my boss. He runs the music store, and I taught lessons with him, under him. And just in April, after 4 years of me doing this, after he tuned my piano, he said, I need something.
Yep.
And
they'll come back when it's a real problem's arisen. Maybe Kenzie's 5-year-old and 1-year-old, maybe she said no because that wasn't important enough to her to solve today.
Yeah, give me 30 more minutes of this and I'll call you.
Right? But maybe 2 weeks from now, something really bad happens. And she's like, this other thing happened and I really need to take care of that.
I tell them that all the time. It's hard to believe with my kids. I've used oil since they were babies. I feel terrible for parents who have to watch their kids suffer because you can't give them medication. Like there's hardly anything you can give a child for comfort or anything.
Nowadays, yeah.
And now it's like, man, well, my kid's comfortable. Like we're sick, but we're comfortable. We're calm. We're collected. When my husband gets up at 3 a.m. to grab a bottle of oil to soothe the child, they work, right?
Exactly. But it's building that, building your confidence. Like I was able to start my business and take off because I had 100% confidence they worked. I was so broken. Like I couldn't have been any more broken unless I was dead. So there's no question that they work. We're still surprised and delighted. I did not expect my dad's cancer to be gone in 6 months after 10 years of this business, right? I literally about fell out of the chair because we still question it. I didn't expect it to work that fast. But the point being, have confidence that when you're helping these people, you do have the solution. And 99.9% of the time, the solution is a starter kit. I don't care what their problem is. And they need a starter kit because if all Kenzie needed was oils to help the 5-year-old and 1-year-old to sleep, and lavender didn't work for her, or the lavender Frank didn't work for her, if I hadn't gotten her a whole kit for her to use and try a whole bunch of other things, right? Because I asked her, pain, allergies, stress, hormones, what else you got going on? So that just in case that lavender didn't work for sleep, I could still end up with a success story with her. But if I only got her lavender for sleep and it didn't work, I'd probably never hear from her again. That makes sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we see that all the time. We say, "Oh, I'll just order you a bottle." Back to Iris's question with someone just with a friend. It's just a bootleg. It's not a good idea.
Don't do it. Yep, don't do it. And it's setting them up for the lifestyle with, "Hey, tell me what you got going on," and they list a whole bunch of things. You better write down as fast as you can.
Mm-hmm.
They say the dog's name is Ginger. You better write that down. When I come back to Kenzie and say, "And guess what? We have essential oils for your baby Ginger too."
Right. Sold. I got 2 dogs. Like I'll buy it. I don't even care what you're selling.
Yeah.
Does anyone else feel like they can call everyone they know right now and ask for their credit card number? Because I'm feeling pretty confident in this.
Totally. And invite them to your next class. Or I have been dying to, right? Let me read from the sharing tripod. I've been meaning to reach out to you. I'm so sorry I haven't reached out to you sooner. Have you heard about these essential oils? We got to talk about this, Kenzie. We've got to talk about this. What's the worst she's going to say?
No.
No. Oh, you're missing out. I'm going to bring you some samples because I love you anyway, Kenzie. Tell me what you got going on, right? Even though she said no, did I stop?
Right? You just keep going. Like, you can show up at my house if you bring a bottle of wine. Bring whatever else you got. Bring it
Right?
on.
And I want to encourage people to do like doTERRA real life, not just selling. Bring a bottle of wine and show up and catch up with Kenzie. You haven't talked to her in a while, right? That's how you have relationships. In fact, I just got a text message today. I haven't sold real estate since 2011. And I got a text message today from someone. You're the best realtor ever. Can you help us find a realtor now that you don't do this anymore? Right? That's 8 years. But it's because we'd take a bottle of wine. We'd send them a Christmas card. We'd send them a quarterly newsletter. What are the Zimmers doing? We did relationship stuff that people don't do anymore. And we do that with our oils business. I show up with presents randomly. Just wanted you to know we sure appreciate you. I hope you're doing well. People do that anymore? We think we're doing good if we post a Facebook event.
That's
Right?
weird.
Who thinks that's how you invite somebody to something? Right?
Right?
No. Pick up the telephone. Have a conversation. Was this the direction you wanted this to go tonight?
Oh, yeah. And I am so glad because I'm going to give you 2 options for a follow-up call. We can do it in June or we can do it in July.
July.
Awesome.
Either or them all day long and finish with, which are you comfortable with?
Yeah.
That is like the greatest close on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's genuine, right? You don't want anybody to get anything they're not comfortable with.
Right.
And you know what they're comfortable with. If you really, you will never succeed unless you're doing what's best for other people, right? And what is best for them is, what are you comfortable with? Well, I wasn't planning on spending that much. That really doesn't work for me. No problem, Pansy. Tell me what budget you are comfortable with, and I'm going to make sure, and I'm going to put as much of that into that budget as I can. What's best for you?
Yeah, because you'd be amazed how fast people find that.
And most of the time, they're going to say 50 to 75 bucks.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, perfect. I got the mini intro kit. It's $55 plus tax and shipping. That's perfect. Does that work for you? Yeah, sounds good. Done. Right. Ask them, does it work for you? You don't have to sell, just tell them what's best for them, and then ask them either or. What's best for you? This one or this one?
I love that you just spent 59 minutes sharing with us how to sell essential oils, and I think you might have said the name of like 3 oils during this whole conversation.
Because I'm selling solutions.
Yeah, I love it.
Right?
You're very well rehearsed.
And because 2 years, we would sit for 2 hours and go through 10 oils and tell everybody everything that they did. And then at the end of the class, when we go to close them, they'd be like, oh.
What just happened?
They'd be like, I don't know what I'm supposed to get, right? Because we fried their brain. We didn't speak solutions. We just vomited tons of information. We just happened to be really good closers is why they enrolled, not because we were really good at what we were doing for them.
Mm-hmm.
We would have people leave our classes before they were over because we talked too much. Right? And clearly, I have a problem with that, right? You can tell from this call. And that's why I need a clear, defined direction or script. Because for the first 2 years, I seriously would talk to them until they said yes.
Yeah.
And now it's that 60 seconds and they still say yes. And I got my 2 hours back and they saved 2 hours out of their life. And it's having just a clear direction, even on membership overview, right? It's just a clear checklist. Mm-hmm. And we just read through it together, boom, done. I'm out. Otherwise, I'll tell them stories and testimonials till I'm blue in the face, and that's not fair to them.
Yeah. This was fantastic. Thank you so much for giving us your time tonight.
I love this stuff, so anytime.
In July, I was not kidding. I'm going to message you sometime in July, and we're going to rock this out.
Yep, July's perfect. Yay. Well, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I will post with the recording Lisa's trifold for you guys so you can see a little more in detail what she's got lined up.
Yeah. And keep it easy. Keep it simple. Don't be afraid to talk to people. They can't say yes if you don't talk to them.
That's right.
Thanks for having me, guys.
All right, take care.
Bye.
Bye, guys.